Hey everybody, my name is Robert Joseph Paul. I'm a singer, songwriter, musician, and a producer, and this is my very first actual podcast. I say that because I've made a few introduction videos talking a little bit about myself and what I plan on doing with the podcast, and also going to just, there's another segment to the podcast where I just kind of sit back and talk about things other than music. This uh, segment, this part, whatever, of the podcast is definitely pertaining to mainly music. And then the other is what I call perspective. I'm going to give my perspective on different ideas, thoughts, whatever subjects, A to Z, and I won't go into that because that's that's that, and this is this. Okay, you're gonna like it. All right. Okay. Relax. Just relax, everybody. Calm down. It's gonna be all right. What? What do you mean get to? I'm just trying to chat. Always trying to tell me what to do behind the scenes. Yeah, let him get in front of a freaking microphone and see what he does. Yeah, he probably clean him up. Yeah, but anyhow, this is my first podcast, and um, I thought it would be just really, really important to me to look back and hopefully have success with with the podcast and my music career and all that. And I thought I just felt compelled to make the first podcast. I won't say about the Beatles, but uh, make it pertaining to the Beatles. I'm not here to go on about the Beatles. That's not what I intend to do. But quickly, they were the hugest, biggest, most, I don't know, monstrous effect on me. My life, not just music. You know, uh, when I first heard, I think it was I saw her standing there in the junior high school cafeteria. Uh, it just something came over me. It just blew me away, and my life was different ever since. Anyhow, I'll probably do a podcast on the Beatles some point, but I just wanted to bring that up. But anyhow, um, I thought a good way to start, give you an idea of where I'm coming from. Uh, Without, again, I don't want to go into a lot of unnecessary, you know, talk, because I can talk. I'm Italian, I talk with my hands. You know what I mean? Yeah. But um, I was watching a video on and I say a younger guy, not of the Beatle generation, doing a podcast or video, whatever it was exactly. On he was listening to the Beatles music and kind of critiquing it, which is that's fine. But it made me think back to, I think he kind of brought up in the conversation that in the beginning most of it was done on 4 track. That's really where this is going and what got me thinking on how to start my first podcast. Because I just got thinking something that's been on my mind watching a lot of YouTube videos today. Skip ahead, whatever it's been, I don't even know, 100 years, whatever, I don't know. How much music has changed, but yet I don't really want to say it hasn't changed because, of course, it's changed, but what I became aware of or thoughtful of was the fact that uh, that era, the music that was made in that era was done on 4 tracks. Okay, they bounced tracks. I'm not going to go into how it was done. I own my ex-wife or my wife or at the time bought me a 4 track for Christmas back in, I don't know, late '90s, and that started me recording, writing and recording my own music. And the thing about it was, I'll try to be brief, is I'm a lead singer. I'm basically a singer, rock bands, fronting bands. Um, I started writing music. I struggled to write songs for years and years and years. I just couldn't seem to do it. And then one day, I don't know, I just got it. And since then, I've written, I don't even know, I'll say at least probably 250 songs written and recorded. There's some of those are not finished, but I'm just saying, generally speaking. And I've created 9 albums, did the covers, the art, and all that myself. Kind of created my own record label. I'm not here to talk about me, but I'm kind of saying all this to make a point and to go ahead so that you understand where I'm going. Where am I going? I don't know where I'm going, but maybe I'll get there. I'll get lost, but I'll find my way. Okay. What? Shut up. No. All right. Okay. Anyhow, here's my what I want to get across, and this is probably the most important thing that you're going to hear me leaning towards in almost every podcast video that I make, because it just falls into so many things that I see, I hear, mainly on YouTube, as far as music goes, and other things, but the music. And I'm going to try to explain it, and again, I'm getting off, I don't mean to do that, but when I started, late '90s, I was mainly a singer, and a rhythm guitarist. I won't say, good, bad, or indifferent. I was a good guitar player, rhythm. I knew all my chords, all the, E, A, D, G, B, and all that stuff, the bar chords and everything. So I was good enough, or better than just good enough. I don't want to cut myself short, and other than that, when I got to 4-track and I started with the idea of obviously recording and making records, I was doing it by myself. So I had to do everything by myself. The recording itself, the engineering, the technical stuff, all that, I knew nothing about. I only basically was a lead singer, rhythm guitar player. I knew I would be have to play the bass, keyboards, drums, and all of it myself, and lead guitar. And it was going to be quite a task. And I do still remember the biggest, most important decision I made right from the scratch was that I could have easily taken shortcuts and tried to sound like, or write like, or create like, I'll say, bands like the Beatles, the music that I knew best, that would have been comfortable for me to try to emulate, and kind of, in a way, cut corners and make it easier. But I made the decision right away that was the last thing I wanted to do. I did not want to make music and look back and say I was trying to sound like everybody else. And I can honestly say, from this day from that day forward to this day, uh, I have never done that. Okay, I won't go into my how I record the process and all that right now, but you know, I just sit. I very rarely, if ever, know or knew what I was going to write about. Even my only thoughts might be as well. Maybe I'll write a slow love song or maybe something up tempo. That kind of thing may be in my head, but usually not even that. I just sit down at this present time, with the computers and all. Uh, Usually start with a beat, that I'm percussion driven, drum driven, whatever. That's a lot of where my I don't know where the energy comes from. Anyhow, so the point I'm leading up to is uh, I get a feeling, or I start to think, watching YouTube with all the different videos and how to, and be like this, and this is the way you do that, and do this like this because I'm the best, and all this stuff. And my concern that I want to share with you, you know, doesn't matter who you are, you know, I, I'm not necessarily talking to professional producers, people like that, engineers, and the people that are like at the top and all that. But if they want to listen, listen, cool. But I'm talking to uh, anybody and everybody involved with making music that gets caught up in, I don't know, being perfect, or you have to be a producer, you have to be an engineer, the vocals have to be perfect, this has to be, and the reverb, and all this stuff that goes through the process, that uh, we have to do as independent artists that are necessary, but can be taken too serious and taken too far. And I'm not saying this to create an argument with anybody about it and saying anybody's wrong or who's right or the way it should be, and it's not, who am I to say, or this is just my opinion, but in a way to say the goal or the reason why I stress it is that I can just say from day one, for me, when I say I made the decision, not to sound like anybody, I'm just, I had played these different instruments adequately enough to make my music. And I had to tackle that. I had to learn, you know, to be an engineer, to be a mixer, all that stuff, to be the producer, and I did it. I made a conscious effort, and the reason why, I won't say reason, the reasons why, number one, music is my passion. Music is what I love to do. Making music is what I love to do. Playing music is what I love to do. All of it is what I love to do. Okay? Whether it be a struggle or not being a bass player and putting down bass tracks is a thrill for me. Okay? But I know, in the decision I made in the beginning, I know I'm not a bass player. Okay? But I know enough about the bass from being around music, being in bands, listening to music, that I understand basics, or what bass is all about. You know, I'm a guitar player, so I kind of take the bass, you know, the last four strings on a guitar, to me, I compare them, or, you know, to the four strings on a bass. And a lot of what a guitar player plays on those four strings are similarities to things you might use for bass lines. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Keyboards, my sister, who was 20 years older than me, was a piano player. She taught me the three-finger basic chords on a piano. Period. Okay? And every chance I got when I was a kid, I used to go to her house. You know, she was married. And every chance I got, I used to play the piano. And I learned the three chord, which I guess are triads, like a guitar. It's all the same, I'm sure. And, you know, I dabbled with my left hand, which would be the bass. So that was it. That was my knowledge of the piano. So it gave me the ability to play the piano and also synthesizer and sequencer, because I look at it all as the same. Maybe it's not to professionals, but it was to me. And I'm able to do it. Drums, I use drum tracks from the start. That was something I was not adequate enough, and I wasn't in a position to go out and buy drums and mic the drums and do that. That was just way over my head. But I used drum tracks, and worked fine for me all along. So, bass guitar and lead guitar, half the time, be honest, I don't know where it came from, but I've been fortunate that even though I didn't play lead guitar growing up, you know, I played really just rhythm guitar. I was able to do it, and you know, I mean, it's work. You know, takes 10 takes sometimes to get it right, but through the years, you know, I just got better and better. I'm not a lead guitarist to this day, but if you hear any of my music, the leads that are there, you know, I feel they're adequate, good, and I created them. You know, I'm proud of it. Anyhow, I'm going to cut this short because I know it's getting long, and I know people have a, you know, short attention span, and I do want to continue, and I don't really want to edit, so, you know, I don't want to keep going. I think it's a good time to start, and having said that,